We are rolling here. The question that we're going to start today's conversation with is, what would you include in this season's highlight reel? I think one of the most fascinating things is the art of the recap that you see in a show, that if you watch the previous seasons, they can, in 2 minutes, they can catch you up. Like, they just give you just enough to remind you of like the key points, right? And sometimes when we have a sense that things have not been going great, we forget about all the little things that did go well. It's a lot of stuff that worked out for you. A lot of stuff had to work out for you to still be here, right? So take a second and think about, what would you include in this season's highlight reel? What would that look like for you? Noble says depends on the series. Hold on, let's see. How long is the season? The season has been very eventful. You get to set that for yourself. So a season, I mean, you could be, however you feel like, whatever phase you are in right now, however you choose to define it. All seasons are different, right? So however you would divide up this section of your life. If you want to take it, since you started a new job, started a new chapter in your life, started a new relationship, all these milestones that give us an opportunity to pause and consider. A lot of people, whenever you start fresh, like a new year, it's an opportunity to mark a season. So maybe that's the way you want to conceive it. A lot of different ways that you can look at it. So if you were to make a highlight reel, say if you're going to talk about this year, what would you include in it? If you want to talk about this week, we all have these different times in our life where we decide, okay, I'm starting fresh. I'm starting fresh. It's a new chapter. And this is what's going on for me. So Miss Hippie is here. It's good to see you this morning. So there is a request box. I will encourage you to use it if you want me to see what it is you have to say. It's not required. You don't have to use the request box. I just might not read your stuff because I might not see it. All right. So Miss Hippie, just to be clear, I don't think Miss is going anywhere. I think that was a sarcastic bye, G, because a feeling of being called out was experienced there. I don't know. She might leave though. I don't know. Sometimes people leave in a huff. Izzy, you're a long way from being manager, fam. Izzy got one loyalty bar talking about manager. All right. So the highlight reel. COVID-19, job search, waiting on SeaWorld, rides meeting, shows training, writing in my novel, drawing Chicago badly, talking about cars and driving with Noble, planning the Phoenix trip in September. I could picture all of that. Yeah, I think COVID is definitely COVID is definitely a place where people kind of mark time. So since COVID, that's definitely a season where we all kind of got on the same page in terms of what we were dealing with. So Pancake is here. Good morning. Right now we're talking about our highlight reels, and Alexis had a really great list. Tim says that body changes, great adult activities, losing my crown, pregnancy scare, drunken nights, doing poppers, deaths, birthdays, new loves. Good morning, Dree. Welcome in. So we're talking about our highlight reel for this season. Izzy says, new job and relationship, I guess. Oh, Izzy booed up, huh? You booed up, Izzy? That is definitely a new chapter, a new season, navigating a new relationship. Kiana, welcome. Noble Ancient. The highlights for this season: 1 completed game, booty. 2 more transformed. 2 more being transformed, kitchen chefs and random dragon. 1st commission completed, and more games on the field. My relationship with Alexis and Harley, Spoon, MJ. That's the highlight reel. Okay. There you go. The highlight is my recognition throughout my county. It's the highlight of the season. Getting recognized throughout your county. So Miss says the highlight reel is the end of ex-fiancé-ship. So are y'all back together? Did your ex-fiancé-ship end, or did your fiancé-ship end? Pregnancy, school, new job, new crush, no more pregnancy, new wife, about to graduate my class. All right. That's quite a list. Miss says, no, my finances hip is over. My finances hip is over. I hear you, Dad. Tim says, all I want to know, am I the wife? It's bad when you wondering, when somebody claiming a wife and you wondering if you it or not. I think that's a sign of maybe a need for better communication. If somebody's claiming a wife and they wondering, you talking about me? Oh man. I think it's important to take a look back. What are the big points that kind of stand out? It's like the type of thing that you would say to someone that you haven't seen in a while. All right. SOK is here. Welcome, man. It's good to see you. We're taking a second to look at the highlights of this season. If your life, you can choose a period of time, whatever you think would be included in this current season. And imagine that someone was getting ready to start the next season, whatever that is for you. And you were going to make the little recap reel at the start to catch people up so people would remember and know what's going on. What would you include in that highlight reel? So Tim's like, I'm AFK. I'll be back. Don't ask nothing good. Hey, we going on to the next prompt. So everybody drop doves in the chat for Tim about to miss the whole next prompt. All right. So here is the next one. My past self would be amazed by how well I blank. So don't start yet. We got one response. Esso's like, oh, my highlight reel will include nothing. I'm not carrying any baggage over. So Esso's like, I'm going to pack light. We got to learn how to travel light sometimes, right? Esso is like, I'm just going to show up in this next season fully formed. Nobody needs that backstory. So this next prompt, my past self would be amazed by how well I blank. What is something that you do now that you might have struggled with before, that you may not have been able to imagine that you have it under control? So Mo is here. Welcome in, Mo. Thank you for joining us. My past self would be amazed by how well I blank. So take a look at what your progress has been as a human in this case, you know? There are ways that we are maybe much better than we imagined that we could be. Here we are, right? Tree says, I don't think my past self will be amazed at anything right now. It's like, Tree's like, yep, you right where I thought you'd be. Well, amazed can go either way. It could be something good. Well, no, it says well, how well. Maybe it would be, my past self would be amazed at how well I've managed to stay right where I am. be amazed at how well I have avoided growth. So for Miss Tickle, my past self would be amazed at how well I show up for others. How well I show up for others, and also in the chat, how well I save money. Forgotten is here. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Noble Ancient says, my past self would be amazed at how well I carry myself now and hold confidence in everything I do. My past self would be amazed at how well I carry myself and hold confidence in everything I do. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. How old is the past self? I don't know. It could be last week. You know, growth doesn't happen in a linear fashion. Sometimes we have these giant leaps that we seem to take. Izzy says, my past self would be amazed with how well I cope with being bipolar disorder, is recently discovered, and how I hold myself accountable for my mistakes and shortcomings. Old Izzy would be like, look at you being accountable. How about that? That's what's up. And yeah, coping with something like that, you know, it's an ongoing challenge. Hopefully, you know, you have the strategies and the support in place that you need so that you can continue to thrive and, you know, live a good life. And that accountability is going to come real handy, because we are all subject to slip up. Then we can grow. Alexis says, my past self would be amazed that I found a name that resonates with me and that I persevered that I persevered and got a job at my dream company. Not my dream job, but at least I got it finally. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, Izzy, we tend to, Izzy said, old me would call you a square. We square up sometimes when we get older. We square up. We get that regular stuff going on. And like with Alexis, you know, you got yourself in a situation, and even though it wasn't a job that you anticipated, you're in there. Who knows where it goes from here, right? SOK says, my past self would be amazed at how well I function under pressure, control my impulses, self-discipline, and emotionally regulate. Oh, me would just be floored at how well adjusted I've become. Love that for you, SO. And so I will say that there are ways that, I've known you for almost a year now. I've known you for almost a year. And I've seen growth in you just since I've known you. So I don't know how far back you would have to go how far back in the past you're thinking, but I mean, I've seen you grow sort of right before my eyes just over these past 10, 11 months or so. So, Miss, thank you so much for the spoons. Really appreciate that. SO said I was wild. Thank you, Miss. Really appreciate that. Everybody take those rounds of applause from Miss. It's like, yeah, but I'm still that same dude though. Don't get it twisted. Don't pull up. Forgotten says my past self would be amazed at how well I have established my independence, my self-worth, my overall growth. I've come far in this past month. I'm so proud of myself and everything I've done and I'm going to do. Well, there you go, Forgotten. Sometimes when we make these leaps, we get these big things handled. It doesn't take long for us to look at amazement at ourselves and at our progress. And Esther's like, ooh, yeah, I forgot self-worth and confidence. Yeah, there you go. Tim says, my past self would be amazed at how early I wake up and work out consistently. All right. So let's see if I can fix that. All right, I've unblocked Izzy. So hopefully I can get him back in here. So Izzy, if you want to come back on your main account, if you are in here on all, come back on your main account. You're unblocked. All right. Let's get ready to go to the next prompt. So what do you need to start preparing for now? That is the question. What do you need to start preparing for now? I know that we were just mentioning ways that we've grown. We've been amazed by what we could do now so much better than before. We're amazed by that. And we thought about what the highlights were. So now, given where we are right now, there's some things that might be on the horizon, things that we need to prepare for. So what is that? It could be something short term, maybe something long term. What do you need to start preparing for now? Let us know. Thank you all so much for the likes. I appreciate it. So for Miss, it is, I need to start preparing, finding another job for this fall or even the late summer. Yeah, I guess you could ask Alexis how important it is to give yourself enough lead time whenever you're going to make a transition. If you are in a position where you know that a job is coming to an end, a lot of times you have to make a hasty transition because you are abruptly let go or laid off or something like that. So if you have a runway, you definitely will be well served to dig your well before you are thirsty. Before you are thirsty. So Alexis says learning how to drive, Comic-Con, traveling, and an eventual Tesla. Okay. Essa says, yeah, because you'll get fired if you slip again. Oh, yeah. Essa was like, yo. Oh, man. So, yeah. I think for sure, some might be already fired. And so it's like, Miss is already fired. Oh man. You know how they wait till you you know how sometimes they'll wait to the end of your shift to let you go. Oh man, they let you work all day to tell you, and then they tell you, okay, well, this is your last day. We ain't gonna need you back tomorrow. Oh man. Being called in on an off day. For God, it's like, wait, how much is the pay? For God's like, I'll take that job. Yeah, Garfield is here for sure. Right now we are talking about preparing. Garf are remembered for sure. Noble Ancient says, right now I need to prepare for the first version of the core rule books for ROA and the September trip to Phoenix and friends there. So Esso says, I need to prepare, getting used to a new lifestyle of constantly feeling like I'm sleepwalking and restricted from self-medicating. Getting adjusted to a new life of sleepwalking. Or feeling like you're sleepwalking. Hello, Zoe. So Forgotten says, I need to prepare by saving up for the move and my Navi. Trying to build some credit so I can go see Mo and pet her cats. I also wanted to do a meet in the future if anyone has any ideas. All right. Anybody got any ideas? All right. Izzy says, I need to get my finances in order to 1, get a new car, 2, take more trips, 3, invest in a vending machine. For now, that sounds like a plan. Vending machines, it's always it's a fascinating cash business, baby. It's cash business. So I think that the ultimate vending machine business is a laundromat. That's a laundromat ain't nothing but a whole bunch of vending machines that you ain't got to put stuff in. All you got to do is take the money out. So Tim says, I'm preparing for a child. I need to start preparing now for a child. There's no way I can just bring one in and have only 9 months to prep. I've been adjusting things slightly to get my mind right. Mo says, I need to start preparing for the end of the school year. Heart of Darkness says, I don't know, it seems the laundromats aren't doing so well. Maybe where you at, mine be bustling. Around the way, every time I walk by, it's full of people with dirty clothes trying to clean them. Emo's sitting there, naked, nervously patting her foot on the ground, leg shaking, like, come on, get the money so I can go take this shower. Oh, man. So Zoe says, prepare to get money to donate money to a homeless shelter. That's what you need to start preparing for now. Kaloli says, I'm going to put an ATM that gives $1 bills and put it in a strip club. What, you going to make money off the fees? See, that's a real high maintenance business because it'd have to be a pretty big ATM. Because it would need to carry more currency than a typical ATM. So you'd have to be there every day. Or maybe you just show up at the end of the night and change out all of the strippers' ones and then put them back in the machine. You come with big bills to and change it out for the strippers and then put those ones back in the machine. Hey, that's a racket right there, ain't it? That's a whole racket. So someone anonymously shared, welcome to the chaos, a message from the void to everyone in case you have not been told today. I'm here to tell you that all are beautiful and important. All right. Beautiful. Let's get ready to go to the next prompt, folks. All right, so the question we are dealing with right now. What is one thing you could do a little bit better? What is one thing you can do a little bit better? So we've recognized our growth in the earlier parts of the session. Now let's look at where some new opportunities for growth might lie for us in the future. So Forgotten says, I could do better at making it to work. I'm trying, I swear. Tim says I can get better at going to bed, or better go to bed. Better make it to work. So it's just like I need to get better at spending less. I need to get better at spending less. Yeah. So Alexa says a lot of things, but if I had to pick one, it would be that I need to get better at being outgoing. Yeah, the whole point of it is that you pick one. The whole point of it is that you pick one, because when you pick one, you can focus on it. When you think about all the different things that you might need to improve on, and if you're a person who's oriented towards growth, there could be a lot of things that you need to improve upon. But to think of all of them and to try to work on all of them at the same time can be overwhelming, and it might be less likely that you get better at any of it if you try to do all of it. So if you pick one thing and get better at that, then you build a little confidence, and then you go from there. Essa says, I could be less mental for my own good and time management. Better late than never, but never late is better. Better late than never, but never late is better. Like that. Getting a handle on time is one of those, I guess what you call a force multiplier. It's a really high leverage thing to master, because what it does is it opens the door, and yeah, it opens the door for a lot of other things. It increases your capacity. So choosing something like that to get a handle on is a great strategy to get started with. So Miss is asking about being muted and all of that. Because I have you set as a perma manager, the only thing I could do is kick you. I can't mute you, or you would have been muted long ago. But don't worry about that that permanent manager thing. That's not going to be a burden for you any longer. So Miss says recording my work hours, also leaving my house. Man, I want to save money more. At 50% of my summer savings goal, I want to travel. Thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. So someone anonymously says, maybe one day open up to love if someone can prove their interest mutual, because it'd be nice to not only see gray and void in my life where, man, let me try this again. No, never mind. All right. All right, Noble. Go, man. You don't have to wait for me. Go to bed. I be doing shit, man. Don't be waiting for me. I might never acknowledge you. Tree says, I could be me a little bit better. I could be me a little bit better. I mean, that could mean a lot, right? All right, here we go. Kaloli says, well, I could answer in the request box. I could do that a little bit better. Bookleman Chamberlain, Buggy, thanks so much for being here. All right. All right. Thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to start breakdancing in this. So she said, I'm sorry, it's over now. This one's a little bit of a bop too, though. So just a little bit better. That's the thing. That's the goal. Just a little bit better. I think a lot of times we're going to wrap this up. Not wrapping up, but the last prompt, we're going to get into it right now. And there's a statement and then there's a fill in the blank. Perfect isn't necessary. Perfect isn't necessary. Blank would be good enough. Perfect isn't necessary. Blank would be good enough. I think that our need to try to do things perfectly keeps us from even getting started at all. So just looking at the ways that we can exist with our imperfection in a healthy way and get our work out the door, get ourselves situated. Perfect isn't necessary. And that's a good thing, because perfect is impossible. So perfect isn't necessary. Blank would be good enough. What do you think? Perfect isn't necessary. Consistency would be good enough. Perfect isn't necessary. Consistency would be good enough. I hear you. And not even perfect consistency, right? I think sometimes the burden of consistency is that when we fall off a little bit, it makes us want to throw the whole thing away. We break the streak, and then it's like, well, that's over. But we don't have to throw it all away. So everybody do me a favor and drop a green heart in the chat right now. Retha is listening, watching. It's good to see you this morning. Perfect isn't necessary. Blank would be good enough. Emmy is here. SO says, perfect isn't necessary. Trying would be good enough. Giving your best effort. Yeah, there's a certain courage in a sincere attempt. A sincere attempt. A sincere attempt requires courage. So Emmy is awake at 7:21, listening in. It's good morning. It's great to see you. Maybe you can do the same favor and be AFK champ. I don't know. Who's the AFK champ in here? Lil Garfield. I ain't heard a peep. Ain't heard a peep from Lil Garfield in a minute. All right. Forgotten says survival. Perfect isn't necessary. Survival would be good enough. It's a good starting point, right? It's a good starting point. Tim, perfect isn't necessary. Consistency. We got a couple of people on the same wavelength with consistency as being good enough. Consistency is sufficient. Zoe's like, nobody's perfect. That's true. Perfect isn't necessary. It's a good thing because nobody's perfect. Just having the courage and the willingness to let go of that pristine vision of how you think things should be and allow them to be what they are and be okay. Survive through that. Aim for perfection is a tool of oppression. Yeah, I think I would say that as long as you are recognizing the direction that it's coming from, perfectionism is an inside out phenomenon. All right. Let's go ahead and hit our recap real quick. All right, in today's session, let me reset the box and give space for some key takeaways. So as we get ready to recap everything that we've covered thus far in the session, this is a chance for you to drop in the box some of your key takeaways. We started the conversation looking at what you would include in your highlight reel for this season. We can define a season in many different ways. Seasons can span any length of time. In 24, a season spanned one day, all the events of one day. Thank you so much for the spoons. Appreciate that, miss. Or it can be a whole phase of your life. So as you look back and reflect, what would you include in that highlight reel? Those moments that would tell your story briefly and bring you to the place where you can look forward to the next thing. So we have an amazing piece of symmetry right now. I'm gonna screenshot it. We have 69 likes and 69 spoons in the stream. That's an interesting piece of symmetry. I'm gonna screenshot that right before Forgotten messed it up. All right. And here comes it. So we can't have that. It's all good. I got it. I got the screenshot. It's all good. So here we go. So yeah, what would you include in your highlight reel? Then we looked at what you would be amazed by. What would your past self be amazed by? How well you are doing now. There's a lot of things a lot of growth that we would notice if we took the time to really look at it. So looking at and kind of extrapolating our sense that we are capable of growth, looking forward, what did we need to prepare for next? We can imagine new possibilities for ourselves, but we need to put ourselves in a good position to take advantage of it. We were talking about opportunities before in a previous session, and I think I asked the question, is it even an opportunity for you if you're not prepared for it? I mean, it's a thing in the world, but is it elevated to the level of opportunity if you have not positioned yourself to take advantage of it? Just because there's an open position doesn't mean that you're qualified for it, right? So your preparation is what shapes your opportunities. A lot of times people think about the chance things that come your way that you can slide into, but really It's only an opportunity if you're prepared for it. Sometimes stepping in, you can make a mess of things. So what do you need to start preparing for was the prompt there. And then thinking about the ways that we want to continue to grow. What is one little thing, or one thing that you could do a little bit better? And it doesn't have to be perfect, but we can get better. So Forgotten is sharing a highlight reel. My homelessness, taking care of Keith before he died, getting out of jail, getting this job, and moving into this place that I'm in right now. That has been quite a journey over a season. And I'm glad to see that it is trending in a positive direction. Zoe says, one thing I could get a little bit better at is math. I got to get the maths under control. I could dig that. So yeah, you could either answer a prompt that you missed or give a key takeaway. Perfect screenshotable moment here. So as we consider this, as we think about this is a good time to say hello and thank you to everyone who was watching. Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, all the different places that we are available. I appreciate you for taking a little bit of time out of your morning to spend here. We do this every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to catch the entire experience, you can find it exclusively in the VIP on Spoon. You can find the links to that in your description or in your show notes, whatever the case may be. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. We're going to hang out with the VIPs for just a little bit longer, but we'll send you on your way with this.